Hi, my name is Joshua Garcia, and this is my presentation to Abolition Society. So, for the government and legal obstacles, in the Kansas and Nebraska Act of 1854, it enabled new grounds to be opened up to slavery by popular sovereignty. So, courts also legitimized this for the Prigg versus Pennsylvania of 1842. So, it limited states from standing in the way of alleged fugitives. And in the Dred Scott versus Sanford in 1857, it asserted that black people were not citizens and Congress had no authority to exclude slavery from the territories. So the impact that this had was that the slave power acquired structural benefits, which increased the political cost of emancipation. So in arguments against abolition, was that in addition to the law, pro-slavery ideologies discouraged voting, and economically, King Khan promoted export subsidies and credit, and emancipation was seen as like unconstitutional takings of property. So, abolitionist for like the people in divisions was that the movement was divided. So its spokespeople were William Lloyd Garrison, Frederick Douglass, and the most known to me, which is Harriet Tubman. And so they also had institutions like the American Anti-Slavery Society and the Local Vigilance Committee, which they were all, a part of. So organizational debates about women's leadership split them. Organizing strategies ranged from, pamphlets and lectures to slave narratives, petitions, and personal liberty laws. So because of these disagreements, it depleted resources and votes. And for the successes and failures, was that for the successes, it was that the Northern opinion changed. So anti-slavery literature circulated among masses. The Underground Railroad liberated thousands. So a few states placed partial protection on free African American citizens. So some of the failures were that Southern counterattack grew more intense and the gag rule shut down Congress. So mobs assaulted abolitionists and Elijah Lovejoy was murdered in 1837. So the Fugitive Slave Act in 1850 made it a crime to assist a crime. So in the Dred Scott extended slaveholder prerogatives and the expansion battles such as the Kansas and Nebraska reopened the expansion of slavery. So hearts were won in the North, but incentives in the South didn't change at all. So why the current strategies aren't working was because I think freedom all at once without compensation seems to slave owners as a violation of, like the whole balance sheet. So elites hold, the firm and everything else. So it's in the movement, I feel that it just drains political power and each anti-slavery triumph is met with the retaliation. So in the new legislation, courts, wins for slave owners and violence with firearms. So slave state power increases through territorial claims faster than they can actually extinguish it. So yeah, that's the presentation so far, and that's everything. Thank you.